Welcome back to Wellness Wave. Thanks for tuning in this morning to ride the wave with us. Each week our goal is to give you at least one suggestion that will make your life a little better. My name is Phil George. I'm a clinical biochemist, a certified personal trainer, and a health coach. Please remember, everything we discuss in this show is for informational purposes only and should not be taken as medical advice. I got a really exciting show for you today. I've got Lola here. Say hi, Lola.
Hi everyone. Oh my God, it's so much fun talking to you before we even started taping. You are our wealth of knowledge.
Well, I really like, because Lola was actually on my TV show, and if you want to watch that, it's a whole hour, so that's really good. And email me, philgeorge@charter.net. In fact, you can email me if you have any questions about anything, or if you want something covered specifically on the show. We have a lot of medical experts on the show. And I met Lola actually through another guest that really recommended her, Health Rights Mass, I think it was, right?
Yes, Julie.
Yeah, Julie.
Julie Boyers, my friend.
So with Julie, basically, Julie's, to keep us safe and, keeping outside of big business and things like that. So one thing I wanted to bring up, and Lola and I we talked a lot, and one of the things we talked a lot about, because I'm a biochemist, and then Lola knows basically the whole part about the ingredients. So, and I don't recommend anything on my show. I don't have anybody on my show unless I would use the product, which I do, or my family, or I recommend to my clients. So a lot of people don't realize, but the largest organ of your body is the skin, and also it's the largest detox body, so part of your skin. So what happens is you get rid of toxins, but unfortunately, Lola, you can also take the toxins in. So we're all using skincare products, obviously, and I know, first of all, the burden on the average American is in the thousands. I mentioned to Lola, there was an interview with the senator out of Alaska, and they did blood tests on her, and she had over 1,000 toxins in her body. So Lola and I were talking about funny. Remember that old song, "Love That Dirty Water," about the Charles River. One time you couldn't swim in the Charles River because it was so polluted. And then I remember the mayor at the time. What happened? He jumped in. He cleaned up the Charles, and he jumped into the water. And I was mentioning to Lola, I like the analogy I like to make. Our body is an ecosystem, just like the ocean, a river, or a fish tank. And if you can imagine the fish tank, you get little fish swimming around in there, and they're happy, and they're swimming around. You keep throwing junk in there and junk in there, you reach something called a tipping point, where those fish can no longer survive, like in the ocean or in a river or the Charles River, and all of a sudden, it's gone. If you can imagine your cells being like those little fish, and you keep polluting it and polluting it. We have our two major detox organs are our liver and our kidneys. Again, you can only detox so much, but then at a point in time, you come down with diseases. I was mentioning to Lola, a lot of people heard about Parkinson's disease, and a lot of people think it's genetic. It's actually less than 1% of all Parkinson's diseases is actually genetic. It's all related to toxins, a toxic burden in your body. The other issue again with Parkinson's is, if you probably saw in the news, they were talking about Cheerios and this stuff. It has glyphosate, which is Roundup, which is a neurotoxin. That's on our cereals. They've also added another thing to it now. So that's the other problem, is that there's so many toxins in the food we eat. There's toxins we're putting in our hair. We're putting putting hair
in
our mouth, everything else. So I was mentioning to Lola, we want you to be aware of this. That the whole point of this show is education, okay? And the main thing is you wanna stay healthy. In my opinion, the two most valuable things you have are, number one is your health, and number two is your time. I think your health is actually more important than your time, because you could have all the time in the world, but if you're sick for the last 20, 30 years of your life, I don't think you want to be alive at that point, because you're just in constant pain. So your health, in my opinion, number one thing. What is your health worth? What I say to clients all the time, if I could wave a magic wand over you, Lola, and take away all of your pain, everything else, how much would you pay me?
It's funny you even mentioned that, because health and time, this is a conversation I have with my husband all the time. He says the most important thing is your time that you have. I said, but no, the most important thing is your health. If you don't have your health, your time could be limited. or let's say you do live to be 90. You want to be sick for 30 years?
And you're right,
So
Lola.
I'm glad you said that.
You're right, Lola. Actually, the time is the last 10 to 20 years of most people's life is spent what they call infirmity. You got diapers on, you got your kids have to take care of you. And that's what I hear from, I give a lot of seminars to older people, and I hear, I don't want my kids taking care of me. I want my brain to be functioning. Real story, I have I go to the gym early in the morning, so I go by and I see my friend, he's walking his dog at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I talk to him on a regular basis, and I say, how's it going? He says, well, not too good. He says, my wife's come down with Alzheimer's. And again, this is the toxic thing, blood-brain barrier. The toxins get into your brain. And he said, she has to go to a nursing home, and I have to sell my house. Because what happens in Massachusetts, almost all states, they have what they call a 5 or 7 year look-back period. You can't get rid of your assets before you go into a nursing home if the state's going to take care of it. You have to private pay that, Lola. So one of the reasons you want to be healthy, and the other thing, you hear these sad stories about husband or wife, and all of a sudden, like if you and I were married, Lola, and all of a sudden I saw you, or I'm deteriorating and I don't remember things and I don't do this and I don't do that, it's so sad. Not only is it an emotional burden, it's also a financial burden. So that's the reason why you want to stay healthy. I talk all the time about nutrition, but the other big thing we're going to talk about now is toxins from the outside onto your skin and your hair.
Yes, please. Nutrition. The first thing most people do, in my experience, they become diagnosed with something, and the first thing they do is they change their eating habits. All right. Some people don't do anything, just want a pill. Please don't be that person. But they change their eating habits because they know that the food is tainted with poisons that are making them sick. What most people don't know, and I'm telling you, a lot of holistically trained people don't know it either. I'm in a lot of holistic groups, and they act like, what are you talking about? There are over 85,000, I think it's 90,000 toxic ingredients used in personal care products today. 90,000 that are allowed by the government. 11 of them are banned in America. There's like 1,300 banned in Europe, but that's nothing either. So out of those 85,000 toxic ingredients, less than 5% of them have been tested for safety. Would you fly in an airplane whose airline only tested 5% of their engines? No, of course you wouldn't. And it is... my focus has been, I've been a holistic practitioner for, 17 years, 15, I forget how many years, but 7 of those years as a holistic practitioner, I knew nothing about toxic ingredients and products. And I attended a Pure Haven event one day. Here I am trying to help people heal themselves. And I go to a Pure Haven event one day, and they're telling me there's toxic ingredients in my toothpaste. I never even realized there were ingredients in our personal care products. And I thought to myself, I go, what is going on? It took one introduction to tell me that there's toxic ingredients for me to take a look into it. And now this is my focus. And so many people I can't get through to them about these toxic ingredients. So,
well, let me interrupt you. So
yes.
You told me in toothpaste, and I knew this a while ago, it's called trichol or something.
Triclosan.
So look at your toothpaste and see if it has triclosan.
Not only that, there's a warning label on most conventional toothpaste. Caution, if swallowed, contact poison control. Really? Not to be used by children under 2. Well, when do babies start brushing their teeth? Do you want that in your little baby's mouth?
And what it is, Lola, it's basically a foaming agent. That's all it does. The other thing a lot of people don't realize is the way the FDA regulates things, they consider to be acceptable levels. I was telling Lola, they allow so much rat feces into certain foods. I mean, a certain percentage, so many parts per whatever. But the other thing I found interesting, because I talk a lot about glyphosate, which is Roundup. It's sprayed on everything, on a lot of fruits, vegetables, and things like that. So the FDA, they look at the average person. They say, okay, the average person eats, 12, pick a number, 12 blueberries a day. Well, this amount of poison, Roundup, is acceptable. So you eat 12 blueberries, it's not going to kill you. Maybe I'm eating 12 blueberries, 12 strawberries, 12 kale. They don't know what I'm eating. There's an expression in toxicology. It's called dose makes the poison. So in other words, just like with and people don't realize this, but in kale there's actually a form of arsenic. It comes out of it. Now a little bit of arsenic is not going to kill you, but if you're eating kale smoothies 24/7, that could be a problem. So, and you have to be the CEO of your own health. So the FDA has these things that's acceptable for so many people, but again, all this toxic burden we're talking about. The other thing I say all the time on my shows is, you know what? I don't want to put any toxins in my body. I want as much. I'm going to take some in inadvertently, right?
Correct.
Without even realizing.
The air you breathe. You can't stress about the stuff you cannot control. But when you have control, you have to take charge of that. You have total control of what you put in your body, what you put on your body. You can't control the air outside, so don't worry about it. Phil, do you know that there's been no regulation on safety since 1938? This is our government.
Yeah.
None. 1938. How long ago was that? 85 years. So don't bother going out to legislate and ask your state house, please, let's make some change, because that doesn't work. We all tried that once before. It's better off that you stop using the products from the companies that the FDA allows these toxic ingredients. Whose idea was it to put petroleum in products? Petroleum is a common ingredient in personal care products because some company, I forget what I read about it, there's some company had a gasoline. They got involved with gasoline and they said, what are we going to do with the rest of this sludge? Well, you know what they're doing with the sludge from gasoline? They're refining it and they're dyeing it white so it looks nice in your skincare. Do you want to put that on your face or on your body or on your baby's bum? No, we don't want to do that. That is highly toxic. I don't care how much refining they do, how pretty it looks. It is not healthy and it causes all kinds of diseases.
And Lola, I'll plead my ignorance here because again, I've been in this space a long time, and like your husband, I was focused so much on what's going in my body. And I never thought that much about outside my body. I knew about that thing in the toothpaste. I knew that, and I eliminated that. But I never thought about the rest of it. So the other thing we talked before, a lot of these small companies like Burt's Bees and even Bragg's apple cider vinegar, they've been taken over by big companies.
Yep.
So you're thinking, well, this is a nice little company, they're health conscious and this and this. Well, guess what? They're taken over by some huge. They're looking at the bottom line.
Well, I would take $100 million too. I'm pretty sure if I had a small organic company and one of the big guys said, hey, you want $100 million? I'll buy your product. What they do is they buy the product. You aren't aware of that because they don't announce it publicly. And then you think you're still buying the same product, but then they gradually come in and sneak in all those cheap ingredients that are causing you harm. I think that's outrageous. And then sometimes people say, oh yeah, well, I know they did that before, but now they're good. Well, I don't want them. I don't trust them at all now. I was shocked when I heard this. And when I first heard the Pure Haven event, I contacted the founder of my holistic college and I said, why is it that in all those years of study, all those courses and classes, not once was the topic of toxic ingredients in personal care and home products mentioned? And she responded with, what are you talking about? Well, if I didn't know, she didn't know, the average consumer is not aware of this product. So I've been on a mission, like I tell you, to start changing that.
The other thing, Lola, what happens too is that even if you're not worried about yourself, children are much more susceptible to this. You'll see this all the time. An adult can take this much, but a child, because obviously the child is much smaller, much more sensitive to it. So if nothing else, if you're worried, if obviously most people care about their kids, you want it. What are you putting on your kids' bodies and things like that? Because they're much more susceptible to toxins.
Yes, and it takes less than 26 seconds for some of those toxic ingredients to go into the body, and like I said, none have been tested for safety. Did I tell you that just now?
Right.
Less than 5% have been tested for safety, and 0 have been tested for multiple in an ingredient. The average product, conventional product, has 10 to 20 toxic ingredients in it. This is unacceptable. Fragrance is a huge one. Please, people, when you see the word fragrance, it's not just to smell nice. It's not. It's terrible. I'm going to read this. This is an ingredient in most products. Fragrance, perfume. This legally hides an untold number of toxic chemicals. And companies can get away with not listing that ingredient because it's their trade secret. It's not a trade secret. There are thousands of toxic ingredients under that. Phthalates, that's what's in fragrance. Just one of many chemicals that are linked with birth defects, breast cancer, diabetes, obesity, autism, ADHD. This is from the Campaign for Safe Cosmetics, 2002, Not Too Pretty report.
Okay, the people to know, so what a phthalate does, it's what they call an endocrine disrupting hormone. I'll give you, again, I mentioned people, I'm a gym rat. So I had this friend that had a gym, and I used to go in there. And obviously, you're a guy, you want to go to the gym, you want to get muscles, you want to get some testosterone. So they have these things they plug into the wall, you know, in terms of the scenting. Mm-hmm. Those got phthalates in them. So what I used to do when I go into the gym, I go into the bathroom, I would unplug it and put it on the side. And I knew the owner. He said, "Don't take that." I said, "People are going into the gym, and you're giving them an endocrine disrupting hormone, basically the phthalates going in there, and you're ramping down the testosterone."
But did he get it?
Well, you know,
introduce me to him. I'll educate
I'm no
him
longer.
on this.
He's moved. He's
you
moved
moved on.
But the other thing, it was funny. Again, not funny. So I went into the locker room, and the young guy goes. Somebody in his 20s walks in. Excuse my expression, but he smelled like a French whore. I mean, just you know. I said, he doesn't realize he's trying to build muscle, but what he's doing he's get these phthalates. What's happening? He's down-regulating his testosterone. He's causing problems.
Correct.
And in women, breast cancer, because it's messing up your hormones. So even though you think it smells nice, the problem is you're messing up your metabolism.
Yes, deodorant. That's when people ask me, "Oh, what's the first thing I should change?" Well, for me, I did a total, complete overhaul because I did not want those things in my house. But deodorant carries so many toxic ingredients, like you said, phthalates, fragrances in them, and aluminum. And most breast cancer is this quadrant of the breast. I mean, we have this, but it's always over here. And it's a direct relationship with toxic ingredients in those personal care conventional products.
And the other thing, Lola, with deodorant, this is really close to your lymph nodes. And you know, basically lymphomas, cancer is deadly because what happens, the lymph goes all over your body, a lymphoma. So we talked about this before. You can come down with a certain kind of cancer, but once it metastasizes, once it gets to the lymph, you know, you must well kiss it goodbye because that's a very hard one. So you don't want to mess around with your lymph nodes.
No, and there's a concentrated amount of lymph nodes under the armpit. So the best thing to do, really, just stop polluting your body. Your body burden, which is the tipping point, you call it a tipping point, your body can only take so much. Now I'm going to do an analogy. Pretend we have an empty bucket in our body. So this is going to be called our toxin bucket. But unfortunately, it's not even empty at birth because babies come into the world with over 200 toxic ingredients in their cord blood. So you have this bucket, and you start using, you know, sodium lauryl sulfate on your hair, aluminum over here, fragrance over here, triglycerin over here, and your body bucket is filling up, filling up, filling up. And then you see someone that's working out or eating well, and all of a sudden they're diagnosed with cancer. And you go, why? But Johnny was so healthy. But Johnny didn't know about this terrible, terrible issue about toxic ingredients in their personal care products.
It's funny, Lisa mentioned my friend Jim Kane, who was on the show here. He asks me that all the time. I'm trying to get him to be healthier. And I never even mentioned any kind of skincare products. But what he said to me, well, why is it people that eat healthy and blah, 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 and live, and why do they wind up, and I didn't have a good answer to that until now, Lola.
Thank you.
Now it could be, you know what, yeah, but meanwhile they're putting this, they're putting it here, you're putting it here.
Correct.
And you're not realizing you're polluting your body, so that's what I hadn't thought about.
It's not that it could be, it absolutely is a fact that these toxic ingredients that we're putting on ourselves, unknowingly harming ourselves, are what are giving us cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer's. Like you said, people used to think the mind was separate from the body. Well, it's not. We're one person, and this bucket, as it continues to flow, once it hits that tipping point or that body burden, boom, that's your diagnosis. And no, you don't have to. There's things you can do for that. The first thing, I had a detox course. The first thing that my professor said that you have to do is to stop polluting yourself. So you realize it's overflowed and you think, okay, I'm going to eat better and all that. You need to switch out your products because it's not adding to this. So the bucket is emptying, and then you're eliminating it through sweat or whatever, and then it could go down, down, down. And you can help keep yourself healthy by avoiding all of these toxins that you are in control of. 100% control of what personal care products you use in your house. And talking about personal care products, that line, we have a line of cleaning products that are 100% safe and effective. Conventional cleaning products are the #1 source of indoor pollution. So many people with migraines and headaches. Change out your products. Don't plug those things in here. Your dogs, your pets, they're on the floor. Don't use toxic stuff on the floor. The babies are crawling on it, or on your carpets. There's so much information. I have a lot of information to give people. I gave you one of these. These are the ingredients to avoid, which I'm happy to send to anyone if they want. Just email me. Email me at purehaven.com. Purehaven. Oh my God, purelylala@yahoo.com. I saw Purehaven up there. So, but the thing
Lola,
is,
I want to interrupt you here. Think about this though. You got your, and Lola's right. The #1 pollutant is all the different spray. You're spraying this stuff in the air. You're aerosolizing it, and you're
Yes.
breathing it in. Okay, so that's the other thing. So why? I saw a lot of times on some of these commercials with some of the healthy stuff. They could actually. There was one a deodorizer. I forget the name of it, but they showed the guy actually drinking it. You know, it's food. I mean, you know, that means it's still healthy enough.
oh,
I mean,
okay. I was thinking Febreze.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, not Febreze.
Okay.
So, that's the whole thing. So again, you want to minimize any toxins in your body because we, as Lola said, we already have a toxic burden. The glyphosate sprayed everywhere. It's in the water. It's in the grass. You're walking outside. There's glyphosate on that. Remember the green thing in the grass that says, "Don't walk on this grass."
Yes, I always wondered about that.
My neighbor, that's glyphosate. My neighbor, I said to her, you know, we have the bunny rabbits running. You're killing those poor bunny rabbits.
things.
You know. So the whole thing, and they say, and you walk outside. It's on your shoes. You walk in. It gets in. We can't avoid toxins.
Correct.
You're being exposed to it. But you can, as you said, you can make a choice to use as healthy products, minimize your toxic burden.
Correct. It's important. You have to do that. With the cleaning products, so many people have actually, I know a woman who changed out all her stuff and she doesn't use her daily inhaler anymore. That's huge. That's her asthma. This is a big cause of asthma. Right?
But think about it. You're breathing things in. If it irritates your lungs, it's going to cause inflammation. And the biggest thing right now for what they call inflammation, actually there's a medical term for this, Lola, called inflammaging.
I love that.
So that's actually, they use that in medicine now.
I love it.
What happens is as your body's exposed to more and more toxins, your body fights against it and it sees it as something that's attacking you, and it goes against it and it causes the inflammation in your body.
Yes. I love that, inflammaging. I love that. So there's so many products out there, they'll say, oh, we're vegan, we're cruelty-free, blah, 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 which is great. Okay, not tested on animals. This is the thing that drives me crazy. I appreciate that it's not tested on animals, but why is it tested on humans?
Yeah.
All of these toxic ingredients are being tested on us.
Actually, not being tested because they're not looking at the results.
No, well, they are looking at the results with the pharmaceutical industry, but we won't go there. So let me bring up something in sunscreen. This also drives me crazy. Retinol palmitate is an ingredient in sunscreen. Are you ready? In the presence of sunlight, retinol palmitate enhances skin cancer lesions by 21%, end quote. That was from the FDA in 2011. There's no regulation. There is nothing is being done to help the consumers stay clear of this. Oh, a little bit of this to be used, like you said, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It adds up to a lot of it.
Yeah, I heard about this a while ago. It's called nanoparticles. It's so tiny, it can actually penetrate your skin. So that was and I think I read a study a while ago. Actually, the people that use the sunscreens have a higher risk of cancer than people that don't use it.
Conventional sunscreen, yes, that is correct. But our Pure Haven sunscreen is awesome. It'll keep you from burning because, I mean, let's face it, some people say, oh, I don't use sunscreen at all. But if you live in New England and then you're going to go on a tropical vacation to the Bahamas, you need something because that.
No, I agree. You want the sunscreen that obviously doesn't cause you problems.
Correct. Did we even discuss skin microbiome?
No.
Like our skin, we have a gut microbiome that helps keep us healthy. Our skin has a microbiome as well. So if you need to nourish your skin because it's a carrier, not a barrier. It's not going to keep things out. It actually brings things into your body, and you have to nourish it with good ingredients. All our products contain nourishing ingredients. All are safe. Cleaning products, you don't have to lock underneath the sink so the baby doesn't get in. I mean, you don't want them drinking it, but it's not going to kill them like the regular cleaning products that are out there. It's just so huge. And do you know that 90% of cancer is environmental? That's what you put in or on your body. 90%. 10% they say is genetics. I actually think it's 91% that is environmental, which means you have control of not getting sick. And like you said, Alzheimer's is linked to toxins accumulating in the brain. You know what else is fascinating to me? Many years ago, someone said to me, you know, Lola, I'm not doing anything differently, but I'm still gaining weight. And I thought, like, why is that? It only takes someone one time to tell me something, and I'm intrigued, and I got to learn why. Well, I didn't figure it out until I met Pure Haven. There's a woman on our team who switched out all her products to Pure Haven. I think she said she had about 50 pounds to lose. I don't remember that exactly. And she switched out her products. That's all she did differently. And she noticed, she's like, wait, I think she lost 9 pounds doing absolutely nothing by switching out the products. So what happens is your body protects you. Your fat cells are there to protect you. Oh, there goes Sally. She's using sodium lauryl sulfate on her hair. So we're going to take it, and it's really not going in the bucket. It's going into your fat cells. And that's what your fat cells are doing. They're accumulating these toxins to keep you from harming yourself. There's only so much that your body can do until they wake you up. Your body will say, wake up, you now have cancer.
Yeah, Lola's absolutely right. What happens is, she's talking about the whole thing, same thing with mercury poisoning. So what happens, your body is really smart. What it'll do is it'll take it a little bit here, a little bit there. So the number one store of toxins is fat cells. It gets it in there because you can't be having a lot of mercury in your heart and in your brain. It's going to protect itself. But going back to what Lola said, we get into a little bit of microbiology here. So a lot of people, my wife being one, thinks all bacteria is bad. We're basically a petri dish for bacteria. We're trillions, way more viruses and bacteria in us than anything else. So you have the good bacteria and you have the bad bacteria. So as Lola's saying, you want the good bacteria. That's why these antimicrobial things like the Purell and stuff in your hands, you're killing off the good bacteria.
Correct.
So you want to keep it going. So Lola, we got about a couple of minutes left. So how do they reach you if you want to cover any particular products in the last couple of minutes? And
Yes, I will. So I have to say, I had a little thinning on my hair until I discovered this line of products here is our Super Greens hair care line. Has helped me fill in my thinning spots. It has helped numerous people, as does all of the skincare. Got rid of all my skin tags that I had on my neck that I had. I was hiring an esthetician to zap them all off. Well, I didn't need her after I used the skincare for about 4 months. So please contact me at purely Lola, Lola, at yahoo.com. Or if you go on my website, place an order, you can, they're going to ask you if you register, they're going to say, how did you hear about us? Please say Phil George, or I saw it on TV, or Wellness Wave, or the Toxic Ingredients TV show. So please get in touch with me. I want to be the one to help you. purehaven.com/Lola Boyers, LOLABOYERS. And you can see back behind me, we can eliminate all that if you just switch over your products. Please, please, please stop voting with your dollars by giving money to the toxic companies. We need you on our side so we can heal America, because America is 16th from the bottom in health, and this is part of the equation. I would say 1/3 of our health is due to, or sickness is due to, the ingredients that are in personal care products.
Okay, so guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Again, if you missed all that stuff, email me, philgeorge@charter.net. I see Lola all the time. We'll shoot you over to Lola.
All right, thank you.
And again, I was educated here too, because a lot of times I really wasn't even aware of this product. So we'll be back next week. Again, if you want to have anything covered on the show, just email me, philgeorge@charter.net. And we'll we have a lot of expert guests on the show.
I was so glad you said you learned something, because that was my goal. As long as you learn one thing.
I'm always looking to be educated. Or if you ever want to come on the show and share information, if you had a health journey or something like that. I also mentioned I give seminars, so if you, I would look and maybe do a seminar at the Leicester, at the Leicester Elder Center. That's a possibility. So I think we're done. I don't know.
I
It's
don't know.
going
I
up.
have
I
so
don't
much
know.
information.
Okay, thanks.
That was great. That was fun.
One of the most common questions I'm asked as a biochemist and health coach is, what are the best supplements to take? Choosing supplements is a tricky business. Many companies have poor quality control and questionable ingredients. In the past, I had to send clients to several different websites. I am now able to offer one-stop shopping for all the quality brands I recommend, with no shipping cost and a lower price in most cases. Just email me, philgeorge@charter.net, for a free consult.